Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is G. I wanted to create this video today to share my personal experience about the circumstances that nearly led to me joining a multi-level marketing business called Rodan & Fields. I also hope to explain in this video why I am now an anti-MLM advocate and talk about some of the things that I hope to achieve here on YouTube. Disclaimer. I am not trying to bully or shame or make the person in my story feel bad about themselves. At the end of the day, I believe that she is also a victim of multi-level marketing as well. It's not her that I have a problem with. It's the multi-level marketing business model that I have a problem with. It has a high failure rate. It's very intrusive on your financial freedom, and it's also very intrusive on your social relationships. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. Our story begins in 2019 with a proverbial "Hey girl" text. Hey, have you heard of RNF? It's skincare created by the doctors that created Proactive. I decided to be a consultant for this summer. I am trying out Lash Boost. It helps your lashes grow. So excited. I thought of you specifically for that. The bottle lasts at least 2 months and there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Want to try it out with me? Mine is coming in the mail today. So stoked. Hey girl, I hope you're having a great weekend. Just stopping in to ask if you have received any of my messages for RNF. If you are uninterested in trying, maybe you want to support my biz in another way. Do you, by chance, know of anyone who'd be interested in trying RNF too? I'm actually 2 orders away from my month-end goal. So I decided to do a referral challenge until end of month. If you know of anyone, coffee's on me. Thanks. Working hard for those goals. To explain some context, my relationship with this good friend began when she was my professional mentor. While I was in college, I got a job working at an elementary school, and I was working in this person's classroom. I was actually able to work with her for the whole 4 years that I was in undergrad, and watching her truly inspired me to become a teacher. She had this amazing energy, and she was so fun and bubbly. She really had a way of making people, whether it be her students, their parents, or her coworkers, feel very loved and very special. She really does have a magnetic personality, and if I remember correctly, she couldn't have been more than 5 years older than me. So because of that, I also looked to her as an older sister. In 2019, when I started receiving these messages, I was already an established teacher, but I still kept in touch with her through social media. Every now and then, she would leave a comment on my posts about teacher life, and it felt really good to have this person who was so instrumental in my development as a teacher be able to see me now and see what I was accomplishing. Seeing a comment or a message from her was always a joyous moment. Then I started noticing that her social media pages were slowly being overtaken with pretty pictures of skincare items, jaw-dropping before and after pictures showing incredible eyelash growth, short videos of her doing her skincare routine. You get the gist. The company that she was associated with was called Rodan & Fields. It was definitely a little curious to all of a sudden see my friend start posting these advertisements on her personal social media pages, but at that time, I really had no idea about multi-level marketing, so I just kept scrolling and didn't even engage with those posts. It wasn't long before she started messaging me directly with her advertisements. At first, I just ignored them because I don't really appreciate being pitched items or services on my social media accounts, but she kept sending the messages anyway. And every time my phone would go off and I would see that it was her messaging me something about RNF, I would get this pit in my stomach and I would really quickly exit the app or go offline to try to make it seem like I wasn't really there. But after consistently ignoring her messages, I started to feel like I was a bad friend. And like I wasn't doing the right thing by not supporting her business. Maybe I was the jerk because I was ghosting her and pretending like I didn't see her messages when in reality I did. I finally gave in after she messaged me right after my husband and I had gotten married. She told me that she wanted to buy me something for her business as a present. I thought that was so sweet and thoughtful, and I'm not really used to receiving big gifts like that. With me, the thought is really what counts, not material things. And I honestly was so touched by her remembering and her reaching out. I was the one that was feeling guilty, like I was a bad friend for ghosting her and for ignoring her messages when here she was reaching out to me to congratulate me on being married and to also try to give me some sort of gift. So because of my guilty conscience, I ended up taking this as an opportunity to purchase products from her as opposed to receiving a gift from her. But here's the actual message. Hi, I want to send you skincare as a present. What are you interested in? Eye cream? Moisturizer? A millennial regimen with face wash, moisturizer, and a SPF primer? You're married and I did not get you a gift and I want to. And I didn't respond to that message, and a few days later she sent me the next one. Let me know, I am ordering stuff today or tomorrow and will add it in. So as you can see, me, who was feeling super guilty, like I was a horrible friend for not having supported her business, I come back and say, "Aw, you really don't have to. I want to buy something and support your business. Can you recommend something for me for my forehead wrinkle? I'd love to place an order for something." Hilarious side note in this story, with all of the skincare posts that I had been seeing around that time, I had recently become very obsessed with this forehead wrinkle that was starting to come in. Her next question to me was, how deep is the forehead wrinkle? So I sent her this as a response. And I could not stop cracking up when I was scrolling through these messages and bam, just saw a picture of my forehead wrinkle. Usually buying skincare stuff is difficult because there's so many brands, there's so many different ingredients, there's so many different prices. So it actually was really helpful to have someone who could guide me. And in Rodan & Fields, their representatives are called consultants, and the title of consultant really made sense to me because she was consulting me on my skincare needs and on specific skincare products. And also remember, she was my mentor teacher and an older sister figure. So it was really easy for me to fall into seeing her as someone who's an expert and just wanting to follow her lead. When she made me the recommendations and sent me the prices, I was like, holy crap, that shit's expensive. And side note, I really want to try to keep cussing and using expletives to a minimum here on my channel. Cussing is bad, kids. But sometimes you just need the oomph that a curse word can bring. So here are the first items that I bought, and here is how much it cost me. I bought the Active Hydration Serum for $100, the Redefine Overnight Cream for $72, and I signed up to be a preferred customer and get those perks for an extra $19.95. So my total was $206.83. Again, I'm a teacher here. I'm not necessarily rolling in dough, but I talked myself out of saying no to this overpriced cream and other stuff by reminding myself that this purchase would be helping out my friend and her business. And I had previously been ghosting her and ignoring her, and here she was reaching out to me and being supportive to me. So I wanted to be a good friend and I wanted to support her. And I had that guilt because I had been, ignoring her messages pretty consistently. And another thing I told myself is, well, I hardly spend money on myself as it is. I don't really go out, so yeah, I can afford to treat myself just this once. I received the products and I started using them, and I actually did end up liking them. I'm not going to say that I didn't because that would be untrue. I did like them. But it was really annoying that there were so many different products and so many different steps in the skincare regimen, but I tried my best to follow it as much as possible. Did the products take away my wrinkle? No. Did they make it less visible? Kind of-ish. But did I continue buying the products from her? Yes. Were they expensive? Yes. And in my stroke of genius, when I had made that first purchase to sign up to be a preferred customer so that I could get a discount And also because my friend had mentioned that it would be helpful to her and her business if I did that. That got me into some trouble as well, because when you are a preferred customer, it sets you up so that it auto ships the products to you every 3 months. And I definitely got myself into a few situations where the products were auto shipped when I didn't really need them. And by the time I had noticed, it was too late to stop the order or cancel it. Those are the same things. It was too late to stop the order. And to be fair, they do send you emails letting you know, hey, your order's about to ship in a few days. But, lots of emails get piled up and sometimes you miss it. So I didn't do myself any favors there. Now it's late 2019. My husband and I were preparing for his deployment to the Middle East. And my friend was reaching out to me quite a bit. I was pretty emotional. I was pretty vulnerable. Even though my husband hadn't even left yet, I was still just kind of grieving already the fact that he would be gone soon. And my friend had been asking me about how I was doing, asking me how my husband was doing, and it made me feel really supported. It made me feel like somebody was noticing that I was going through a lot at that time. So honestly, it made me feel really close to her. And since she was still so supportive of me, it made me want to continue being supportive of her and her business. Then she started sending me messages telling me that she thought I would be an absolute perfect fit for this opportunity and that I should really consider joining just to get a discount on the products even. At the time, I was pretty naive about it and I saw this as an actual compliment. Like, wow, you think I can do what you do? Because she's so outgoing, she's so social, she has a great personality. That's not me. So it was really, really, It was just nice to have somebody kind of believe in you like that. Now, with all of the research that I've done and all of the videos I've seen, that is one of the most basic lines that they tell people. Oh, I thought of you specifically. You'd be perfect for this. So it just shows how naive I was that I actually thought she was saying that because she thought of me. But really, I kind of feel like I was just another number. But here's the worst part. All of this grooming was actually working because I was starting to be more convinced into joining. As you can see in this message here, let's go ahead and read this together. G, if you are going to be buying for your mom too, you should think about becoming a consultant. Because at this time, not only was I buying for myself, I was also buying for my mom and for my sister. You should think about becoming a consultant. Get the products for even cheaper. That is definitely an interesting idea. Can you tell me more about it? At the right time, I do think I would be open to new possibilities in 2020. With my husband gone, I want to start new things and remain connected to people. So I just kind of feel bad for myself because I was susceptible to getting into some financial scheme just because I was about to be lonely. Kind of sad. And then my friend says, yes, totally. It's super simple to become one. It takes 5 minutes. Oh, friend, I want that for you. It is a super fun way to be connected, and also it is a super easy way to make friends. And then I started asking her more specifics about how much work goes into it and blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, I was already very vulnerable to getting sucked in because it just reminds me of the sweet girl we watched in the video the other day, the one who recently joined Monate. Sometimes you get yourself into financial situations not because it's going to be the right move for you, but because of that social aspect. And that's just not what business is. Business isn't a charity. So just really sad. I didn't say yes to joining the business, but I definitely let those thoughts percolate. And the interesting thing was she had been texting me about joining, and I even texted her back one day and said, look, this is not the right time. My husband's getting ready to go. I want to focus on him. And she had said, oh, that's no problem. You know, this good deal that's happening right now will still happen for a few months. But she did continuously text me and reach out to me around that time. And then after my husband actually did leave, she actually invited me over to her house for some dinner. At the time, it felt really good to have somebody thinking about me and reaching out, because having a deployed spouse is tough. Where I live, I kind of live away from my family anyways. I live kind of far from them. So it was nice to have someone who was like family to me, who was trying to check up on me and see how I was. Now looking back on it though, I just can't help but think that it's a little bit slimy if the real reason that she had been reaching out to me so much wasn't really to check on me, but more to kind of groom me into joining her business. Obviously, I'm not her, so I can't say either way if that was her intention, but it's definitely something that I look back on now and I don't really feel that great about. So I did end up going to her house and I had dinner with her, and it started out really nicely and we were catching up about teacher stuff. She was asking me how my husband was doing. I was asking her about her family, and everything was nice. And then there was definitely a shift in the conversation and I could feel the pitch coming on. And I remember asking her in a very direct way, isn't Rodan and Fields an MLM? Looking back on it now, what I should have asked is, isn't it a pyramid scheme? But I didn't know as much as I do now. When I asked her this question, she replied in a very matter-of-factly manner where she said, yes, it is. And then she went on to list all of the reasons why that was actually a good thing. What's funny is I've seen this type of reaction in MLM videos, training videos, where they're teaching their new consultants or representatives what to say when someone asks them that question. And in the moment, I was just believing her answer very matter-of-factly, because remember, she not only is someone who I looked up to, but she was also a teacher. So it definitely sounded like something that was believable, like, oh, okay, that kind of just makes sense. Now, after all the research, I know that this is just another recruitment tactic. So she told me that I would be a great fit for it, that I wouldn't have to invest too much time on it, that I already had a pretty good social media network that I could tap into, and that it would be a great way to make extra money. Teacher to teacher, we knew, okay, extra money would be great. She was saying all the right things, and honestly, just hanging out with her was really nice. And it was like I was hanging out with my older sister. And why would my older sister be getting me involved in something that would not be good for me in the end? During this dinner meeting, I had also mentioned to her that I was the FRG leader for my husband's unit. And FRG stands for Family Readiness Group Leader, which basically means I was a communications liaison between the commander of my husband's unit and the friends and family who were here with their soldier deployed. And when I mentioned this, I think I saw her eyes kind of twinkle. And she said that it would be a great opportunity to share those products with that group. And now looking back on it, I'm just imagining if she was thinking of the dollar signs that would be. Because not only did I have my high school network of friends, but I had my college network, my grad school network, my professional contacts, my friends and family, but now this whole other group of people that I could tap into. And the majority of the people in this group are wives or girlfriends of deployed soldiers who are not going to say no to making some extra money. I left the meeting with her feeling like I was actually going to do it. I had told my husband, I think I'm going to do it. I think I would be good for it. He actually told me not to. But once I make my mind up about something, it's hard to convince me otherwise. So I had actually gone to the website and I was trying to get to the Become a Consultant page. And someone up there must have been looking out for me, because every time I clicked that page, it would just take me back to the main homepage. And I could not access the application whatsoever. And I remember texting her about it and texting her video clips of me trying to get in there and not being able to. I think that's a hilarious side note now. But a few days later, I do go back and try to get into the application, and I am successful. So I'm in the application. I'm actually about to submit. I'm about to join RNF. And then I read the compensation plan. And with every page that I scroll past, I'm noticing more and more that a pyramidal type of shape is taking place. And I began to realize that to be truly successful in this company and to even make it worth my while, I would have to recruit other people into joining. I was not okay with that at all. These products were honestly too expensive even for me. How in the world am I going to sell these products to my friends and family or get them to join me on my team? Especially when I know they have debt, they have student loans, they have car loans, they have rent, they have mortgages, they have families. Why would I be wanting to take away from that? Luckily, after seeing that income disclosure statement, I had a whole bunch of warning signs and red flags that were going off, so I just trusted my instincts, closed the application, and I didn't go any further in becoming a consultant. And while I wasn't about to become a consultant for the company, I did continue to buy products from her and keep supporting her as one of her customers. My husband returned home from his deployment, and we became laser focused on saving money for a down payment for a home, because here in California, it's like the most expensive place in the whole entire world. So every little dollar counts. So I actually just stopped purchasing products altogether. I am pleased to say that I will never purchase RNF products or any other MLM products again, but that realization wasn't free. It ended up costing me $1,874.81, almost $2,000 on skincare products. Now, as I look back on that experience, there are so many things that I take issue with. First of all, the only reason that I got so close to joining an MLM was because of my relationship with that friend. She had been my role model. She had been my mentor. She was like an older sister to me, and I trusted her on almost everything she said, just at face value. And thinking about the fact that she is a teacher, and not only a teacher, but she's a freaking amazing one too. I'm sure she has a lot of people in her circle of friends and her networks that feel the same way I do, that feel like she's someone who they can trust and look up to and emulate. Fun fact here, she's also bilingual. So she was able to reach both English and Spanish speakers when she was making her posts and her videos and her Facebook Lives. So to all of you teachers or educators out there, please just don't join an MLM. Don't take advantage of the large network of people you already know. It's just not a fair fight. Next, I take issue with how I got involved purchasing the products. She messaged me about giving me a free product after my wedding, which I thought was so sweet. But now I think it may have just been a way to get a foot in the door. Granted, I could have just let her pay for all the product, but I was feeling like such a bad friend for having ignored her messages and ghosted her for so long. So buying the products myself was a way to atone for that and a way to appease my guilt for myself a little bit. I really think there's some emotional manipulation that goes on when you're selling your MLM products to your friends, especially when it's around very emotional times in someone's life as it is. This reminds me of something that one of my favorite sharks, Mr. Wonderful, says. He loves weddings and funerals because during weddings and funerals, people are just emotional thinkers and they're going to spend a lot more money than they normally would. Another thing that really disappointed me is how I feel she may have taken advantage of the situation that I was in with my husband being deployed. Our communication had been very frequent around that time. And let me tell you something. I am a horrible texter. I will either A, reply to you instantly, or B, I'll never reply to you and you'll never hear from me again. Those are literally my only two modes. But with her, I was texting her a lot and replying to her messages, and she was reaching out to me a lot because I had just felt like, oh, this is my friend. She's checking up on me. Hey, how you doing? I hope your husband's doing good. By the way, here's an RNF product. And I wasn't really connecting that it was kind of inappropriate for those to be so mixed together. And it hadn't even been 2 weeks after my husband had left that she had reached out and invited me over for that dinner. That timing is, a little bit suspicious. It's not suspicious if it was just a friend asking a friend over for dinner. It is suspicious when part of that dinner is a business pitch. That's my opinion. It's just really hard to discern now if all of those text messages, all of those voice memos, all of those times she reached out, was she doing that because she was trying to be a friend to me? Was she doing that because she saw me as a customer? Was it a mixture of both? Probably. I think it was probably a mixture of both, but I can't definitively say one way or another. She's a very sweet, loving, caring person, but when you get involved in an MLM, you're opening yourself up to putting those questions in people's minds. Lastly, the money. Like I mentioned, I spent a total of $1,874.81 on these products. That's a lot of freaking money. A lot of those products that I spent all that money on, I didn't even use. A lot of them I would give away. A lot of them are still sitting in our bathroom cabinet just collecting dust. The sad thing is, there was really no tangible difference in me using the RNF products. I didn't notice any major changes, so I can't even say, well, hey, I have no regrets because the products were amazing. The products were okay, but could I have probably gotten similar results from cheaper products? Yeah, I think I could have, and I would have had all this money in the bank as well. But even worse, I had been buying products for my mom, and my mom especially loved the Lash Boost. So after I started getting into anti-MLM and looking up the lawsuits against Rodan and Fields and some of the horrible side effects that people have had, I was mortified, imagining that I could have potentially given my mom something that was going to cause her health problems just because I felt guilty and I wanted to support my friend. I could never live with that, which is why I didn't want to get involved. I could never be the reason why someone else is having hardship in their life, so that kind of also made me feel a little bit grossed out by the situation. So now here I am, 2 years later, $2,000 less in the bank, and questioning my relationship with this person right now, who had been so important and who had genuinely taught me so many things about being a teacher. And it's really hard to reconcile the two different versions of her that I have in my head. I don't hold any ill will toward her whatsoever. I want nothing but the best for her. I just think that her situation is indicative of a larger problem, and that is when trusted individuals of a community join MLMs. When a teacher, a public figure, a celebrity, an influencer joins an MLM, they may get some fabulous sales. They may be able to recruit and build these really big teams, which gives the illusion that you can do it too. But those results aren't typical for your average Joe or your average stay-at-home parent who probably doesn't have that wide a social network. Furthermore, 95% of all MLMs fail. They fail. About 98% of people lose money in MLMs, and it's the top 0.02% that will actually be a millionaire or make some real money for it. Normal people will be lured in by the promise of financial freedom, working from home, being your own boss. But not only is the system set up against you, there's a chance that the products you are using can cause you not only financial harm, but physical harm. The reason that I decided to join YouTube and share my story and make anti-MLM content is because the pandemic has brought about a new wave of boss babe energy. Good, hardworking people continue to get lured into MLMs because people that are close to them leverage that personal relationship and entice them to join this business opportunity. Social media has only made this process even easier. Run out of people you know in real life? No problem. Just join Bumble. You'll meet people through there. I'm at the point in my life where I am sick of people getting taken advantage of, especially in the name of greed. I want to be a part of the solution and not the problem. I know my channel is just a tiny sliver on the YouTube community. Thanks, 16 followers. You're the best. But I hope my videos and commentary can continue to bring awareness to this pervasive issue and to the predatory nature of MLMs. Hopefully, I can help at least one person avoid joining an MLM. If you're still here, thanks for listening. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever joined an MLM? Have you gotten really close? What was your experience like? Thanks again for stopping by. If you like the video and if you want to hear more from me about anti-MLM stuff or about my own life, please feel free to subscribe and let me know in the comments. Thanks and see you next time.